Hello, good morning. This is Andy McCann, your host here on Food, Fitness, and Finance, where I'm trying to help you lay a firm foundation in those three things. So today we're talking weight loss and probably some other stuff. But here's the thing. This question comes up a lot. Andy, I've been working out and I can't lose weight. Andy, I haven't done anything, but I'd like to lose weight. Andy, I've got this, especially ladies, I didn't understand where this, like the name of this came from, but I've got this muffin top. How do I lose that? Okay, so there are a couple theories and ideas on how to lose weight. The problem really isn't that some of them don't work. It's that things work differently for each person. There is overarching themes like, hey, math is good. Most people get it. Most people can do math. And then there are people who are like, I just don't know math. Then there's people who are like, I can read out loud, no problem. Then there's people like me who cannot read out loud very well at all. I don't know what it is. My eyes get all jumbled when I start to read. And it just like, it's almost like the words move on the page. I know they don't. And there's ways to fix it. And I can make it work. Like I can put a bookmarker underneath the line and then read across and use my finger to help guide me. So I got like two crutches to make it work, while other people just do it naturally. So there are ways to lose weight. What I would say is it's not that something is ineffective. It's that maybe it's not effective for you. Here's the other big one. For the most of the time when we do a thing, we think we did it right and well. And then you ask an expert and they're like, yeah, you didn't even do what you thought you did. So my 2 cents to you is this. If you really care about this, I want to lose some weight, hire somebody. Jennifer at the gym does nutrition coaching, hire her. You could hire anybody and they will coach you to success. Here's the thing. Jennifer has seen this not only in her own life, but has helped lots of people. So when you tackle the problem one at a time, like, hey, this is the first time I've done taxes. It's pretty hard. I do taxes once a year. It's kind of irritating and hard. I forget what I needed to do. If you hire a tax person, guess what? They do tax stuff all the time. And so it's not tough for them to actually like work through the issues and the problems. And they know stuff ahead of time because this is what they do. And they read the laws and the rules and all that. So hire a professional and it'll go better for you. Hire a professional just to make sure you're actually doing it right. So I talked to one of the girls at the gym and she said, I'd like to lose this. Feel this right here. I've got lots of stomach muscles. I can feel it. My core is strong. I'm like, yes. I poked her stomach. Your core is strong. She's like, but I've got this belly fat. And I said, well, as a 52-year-old man-ish, I don't have a lot of belly fat, but it was me changing the foods I ate. So that was the thing for me, changing the foods I ate. What about for her? The answer is I don't know, but she said, I've done intermittent fasting for a very long time, and I still have this. I'm like, so what do you think about intermittent fasting? She's like, well, I know it works. I said, but? She's like, yeah, but not for me. I'm like, right. Or it could be exactly what you're doing on the timings in like what you're eating, right? So we talked about tracking food. Another person I had said, yeah, I do carnivore, mostly because Evan needs to be on this and I don't want him to be by himself. It's a lonely journey. They said, would you recommend carnivore for anybody? I'm like, not really, because it's lonely and it's hard. And most people aren't going to be able to eat like this. I actually like protein and fat and salt. And I don't really mind missing the other stuff. It doesn't bother me. Is that normal? No, it's not normal. Once again, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I am a little abnormal. I know this. Okay, so try things. Find the one that works for you. I'm going to go through a couple ideas. And I don't know, would I try them all? I would try the most obvious ones first. For example, if you're going to get blood from somebody, go for the most popular one, which is A positive. That's probably going to work. It might kill you as well. But you know what I'm saying is the thing that works for most of the people probably is going to work for you. Probably. So most of the time, most of the people mostly can do it this way. But just like when we do a deadlift or a squat, not everybody's feet are in the position that I, as a coach, want. And that's just how it is. Everybody's made a little bit different. Okay, so we're going to pop through a couple of these. All right, probably the most famous way to lose weight is the calories in versus calories out. So the problem with this one is not every calorie is actually measured the same. So a Snicker bar has some calories to it, and an apple has some calories to it, and a piece of steak has calories to it. I know that a synthetic calorie, something that has been highly processed, is going to be different inside of you. This doesn't care. This simply says calories in, calorie out. So what I would do is find something. Oh, I didn't even go through my page over here. Well, let me pull this up. Then I'll go through this. So I would do something like, I think it's MyFitnessPal Fitness. There it is, MyFitnessPal. This one, calorie tracker. Yeah. So it's free-ish. So you get most of the functions out of it when it's free. Another one is My Net Diary. Yeah, it's My Net Diary app, I think is what it is. That's the one that, yeah, mynetdiary.com. That's the one Levi got me on. So the two of them are myfitnesspal.com and mynetdiary.com. Do I have a preference? No, I got more free options out of My Net Diary than I could have out of the MyFitnessPal, but I would say like MyFitnessPal is the 90% of what people use. I think you can even now take a picture of something and it'll give you its best guess, which is better than not knowing at all. So if you don't know what your food is, that's a problem. But if you don't know the calories, you're not willing to actually track it, you can't do this method at all. So the pro is it's pretty simple. Just track it and see what it is. The con is you have to track this crap all the time. And the unfortunate trend of the restricted calorie diet is you start, let's say, I don't know, I'm a dude and I eat 2,400 calories a day. I don't think that's enough. Right now, I eat 4,000 calories of protein and fat, and I'm at 158. So I've lost 10 pounds since starting this, and I'm inching down slowly over time, which I don't want to do. So I've added more fat into my diet, like cheese and I did add an avocado every now and then. So I guess I am eating something green. But anyway, let's say I'm eating 2,400 calories. Okay, so, well, if this works, calories in versus calories out, if I'm burning something, doing jogging or CrossFit. So this is another weird one. CrossFit doesn't come across correctly on these apps that say, how much did you lose? It's when you jog, they can do body distance, let's do it. But when you do CrossFit, the movement, it doesn't know what movement you're doing. Are you doing a thruster or an air squat? I can't really tell. So it doesn't necessarily do a great job of figuring out what your calories out, your expense is. And sometimes the calories in, if you're not tracking it, then, or tracking it well, then the math is off. But the real problem is you see this and say, okay, I dropped to 2,000 calories. I started losing weight. So I'm going to up my exercise and decrease my calories even more. So here's the problem. As you decrease your calorie intake, your body starts to shut stuff off. So there is a floor that your bottom needs to run all of its basic functions. So for a guy, I'm going to say it's about 2,400. Your hair is black, or whatever color your hair is. For me, it'd be black. Your immune system is high. Your eyes are sharp. Your hearing is good. Your skin is good. You're fighting off all the stuff. When you drop below that, your body starts turning things off. It has to adapt to the starvation mode that you put it in. So I'm not a huge fan of calorie restriction, though it is by far the easiest thing to do. I'll get to what I'd rather do. So let me pause here and go through some of the stuff for the gym that's going on. So right now I am watching the Trans North Georgia a bike packing race happen. So these guys, I'm looking at a map right now, but they started down here in the Alabama-Georgia border, and they're riding up towards South Carolina-Georgia border in the northeast corner of the state. But it's only day 2, and these guys, some of the guys are about halfway through, but I think it's the easy half, so it's going to get harder here. I'm looking to do this in 2026. You have 10 days to complete it. I plan on doing it super slow and easy and just completing it. We are hosting a novice and intermediate CrossFit event. It's called True Challenge, or it used to be called Festivus. So it was Festivus for the rest of us because we couldn't make it to the games. So that is coming up on October 18th. Come compete or volunteer. A bunch of us are doing this Blairsville adventure race. So you can, actually, I don't think you can join us anymore. I think they've sold out. It's a 10-hour race in September. Randy has rented a Airbnb that we're jumping in, so you can contact him and pay him some money and get in there if you are part of that. David Wallace and a bunch of folks are doing the Savage Blitz race in Georgia, also, unfortunately, on September 20th. Coach Jamie Thomas is leading everyone with her husband Jordan in climbing. So if you're into climbing, pop that QR code over there on the whiteboard and get involved in that. We do have a board game and D&D QR code or GroupMe, as well as pickleball, which hasn't gotten much love. We need to get back into that. And mountain biking or outdoor adventures. So if you're into mountain biking, come join us. We go usually every Saturday, 8 a.m., either Rope Mill or Blankets Creek. Of course, on that side is the Mountain Goat Adventures and her calendar here. So Lisa Randall does a bunch of run and bike things for us here in Cherokee County. Y'all should get involved. Okay, back to the show. Where am I? Okay, so then next one would be my favorite right now is the low carb or ketogenic diet. So it's probably the most sustainable. It's low carb, not meaning zero carb. Ketogenic, so you're in ketosis. Everybody's going to be somewhere different. They say that the numbers for ketosis are somewhere below 100 for you, but probably above 20 in terms of total carbs. Actually, let me pull that up real quick so you can see this. So the last time I used this app was back in October. It may not show me everything because I don't pay for it anymore, but this was one of my days. It was like 4 grams of carbs. So yes, even me eating basically meat and eggs and cheese, there are some carbs that bleed over. That's totally fine. So it's not necessarily zero, but it's as close as I could possibly get. And you can see in here. Well, you cannot see in here because all those things are locked. So I was trying to get you in there to see some of this. Some of the stats that it gives you, but it's not letting me because I haven't paid for it in a while. Well, I guess here's a good one. So it says 4 grams of carbs. Let's see, 400 grams of protein, 304 grams of fat. So yes, I am eating tons of fat, and I still eat like this. And anyway, so these things give you good charts. If you don't understand what you're doing, you could see at least the carb intake. You could also use one of those blood analysis things to see if you're in ketosis. I want to say Keto Mojo, but that's just a brand. I can't think of the name of it. But basically, it's like a one of the diabetic strips. You take your blood, put it on there, and it says, hey, you're at this much in your ketosis level. So it's a good one, and probably my favorite because it's not as restrictive. You are going to lose weight because of the fat will be coming off because you are, I believe it's the dam method. So, hey, there's not going to be much water. Let's build a dam and, save our water, reservoir it, right? If you try to restrict all the fat, your body needs fat. And so it says, hey, let's hold on to some of this fat. Or if you eat so many carbs, it's like, hey, we have so much carbs, let's burn it like we're a redneck with leftover trash. We're just going to burn all these carbs and never hit the fat, which makes it store as well. So as you let the carbs go, it doesn't have that to burn as much, and so it must burn fat. Plus it says, hey, I'm getting a lot of fat. I can let all this stored fat go. So you do lose water. Your body's going to store that as well as the fat. So the hard part about it is just hard to do socially. Not as bad, but it's hard. And people will get like the keto flu, which is going to happen in the next one I talk about too. Basically, just getting off of carbs is kind of like, well, you'll see there's a drug addiction and stuff to it, and your body's releasing toxins and you just sort of feel sick. So you got to get over that. But probably the worst is the carb craving. It can be relentless, especially if you spent your whole life eating carbs. And it's been pretty tough for Evan. He's fixed it a little bit by modification. So he has a jar of honey, local honey, that he just holds on to. And if he gets the urge, he just sucks it out of there. Plus, he needs calories. He's doing the Lion diet or strict carnivore diet basically because of a condition that we're working through. And I'm just doing it to go along with him. But turns out I like it, right? So it can be a little bit hard to do. The cravings are high and the social anxiety can be a little bit annoying. Just you can't go eat with folks. All right. Next one is carnivore, which is pretty much what I am doing. It's all meat, no plants. So that's not exactly what I do because I did have an avocado, which I guess is, well, let's see, it has a seed on the inside. So it's a fruit, right? Because vegetables have seeds. Wait, how does that work? Vegetables don't have seeds? And no, wait a minute. Anyway, something about seeds. I forgot now. But I basically don't eat that. You can see what I eat right here. It actually shows it. What was the meal plan? Meal analysis. It doesn't show. I thought I could see that. Oh, here's like ground beef, New York strip, and goat cheese. That's what I had that day. That was it. So I didn't even eat eggs that day. So that's unusual. Oh, actually, that might be just for dinner. No, that wouldn't have been for dinner because that's too much. Anyway, I don't eat any of the green things that you need water and sunlight to grow. Actually, I guess you need water and sunlight to grow everything. So I eat cows, but I don't eat vegetables. I have nothing against vegetables. they're hard to digest. And so what Evan has, vegetables are off the table, pun intended. Okay. Then there's intermittent fasting. The typical intermittent fasting is something like a 16 and 8. And what that means is there's a 16-hour window that I eat and 8 hours that I don't. Or, sorry, the other way around. There's a 16-hour window that I don't eat and an 8-hour window that I do. So something like I eat lunch at 11 and my last meal of the day is at 7 p.m. And that's the only eating I can do. The problem here is they're not really accounting for any of the calories. So I suppose you could be saying like I eat Snicker bars, just I pound them, but then I'm not eating anything else. And that's definitely not going to work. So a bigger problem with these methods is I just don't think they work in isolation. I think you've got to combine some of them to make them work. I also intermittent fast just because of the way I live, right? So I do a 12 and 12. So there's 12 hours of eating and 12 hours of not eating. I usually wake up and eat breakfast and then I go work out. And then before, I don't know, like 5 or 6 o'clock at night, I'm eating dinner. And then that's the last thing I eat. Probably the best thing about this carnivore diet, well, there's a lot of bests and bads, but is that I'm not really hungry all the time. Oh, I didn't go through the pros and cons. So carnivore diet, the pro is it's pretty damn simple. And the food choice is easy because there isn't many choices. So you don't have to be burdened about what do I shop for. When I go to the supermarket, it's super fast. A negative could be that maybe this is bad for your health. So far, I've been to the doctor and they're like, wow, you're in tip-top shape. So for me, it's working great, but it could be that it's not. So it is super restrictive and super annoying when you go out to eat with people. Typically, I pre-eat and then I just order a hamburger, like 2 patties, no bun. And, if they have it, I'll say, can you throw an egg on it? And can you throw cheese on it? I will try not to eat the super processed cheese, but, hey, you're out and beggars can't be choosers, so I'll go and do that. The other negative is my family does not want to eat with me anymore. I asked Evie, hey, it's just the 3 of us. I could go back to making dinner. She's like, you don't even cook. I'm like, well, I could learn to cook again. She's like, I don't know. I'm just not into all the meat. I'm like, I could make other stuff, but yeah, so it is off-putting. Just like me being off of pudding, I am also off-putting. Okay, so then into intermittent fasting. Again, the easy is you just look at your watch. There's a window. There's no calorie counting. And they say that it can help with insulin sensitivity, but I'm not addressing that. We're looking at weight loss. So it depends on what you're trying to solve. Too many people try to solve too many problems at one time. I'm a big fan of pick your biggest problem, let's solve it. So, for example, Evan with this Crohn's diagnosis, they said it presents like Crohn's. It doesn't look exactly like it. So is it? Well, I don't know, but he's dying. So let's fix that first. So with the food, we've got it under control. No medicine, no cutting out your colon, no J-hooks, none of that stuff, no colostomy bags. He's made a comeback. It did take a year and it was not great, but he's on the mend and he's learned a lot about himself and his environment. And I think he's going to be okay. He just has to continue down this track and eat more calories. So then he says, like, Dad, I feel kind of like slothy. I'd like to move more. I'm like, awesome. How about walking up and down the driveway? He's like, that's a great idea. We had a really long driveway. So he's going to go up and down it a couple times and see what works for me. He's like, wow, now I feel kind of sore. I'm like, yeah, you haven't moved. He's like, I wonder if I should start CrossFit. I'm like, well, I think that might be a bit aggressive, especially with the lack of energy you probably have and the weight you're trying to gain. I would probably just do some heavy back squats, and heavy meaning not really that heavy at all. And he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. So solve one problem at a time. His problem isn't, my fitness isn't high. His problem is I've got a health thing I need to fix. So all the other stuff, be damn, work on that. So if you're working on, like I had a guy say, I am trying to work on, I just got diagnosed as being pre-diabetic. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's not great. How can I help? He said, I need to figure out ways to eat less sugar. I'm like, all right, well, what do you eat for breakfast? He's like, I do a protein smoothie. I'm like, well, red flag. He's like, really? Red flag? Why? I'm like, did you ever look to see how much sugar is in that protein smoothie? He's like, no. I'm like, well, if you're battling for insulin resistance or pre-diabetes, you should probably be caring about the sugar content. He's like, yeah, but I want to get protein so that I can even lift, bro, right? I need protein. I'm like, yes, but the doctor said you're pre-diabetic, not you're overweight. Fix it. He's like, well, true. I said, so fix one problem at a time. He's like, well, I don't have time in the morning to cook anything. I barely have time to make the smoothie. I'm like, yeah, but you have time the night before. So before going to bed, just make some hard-boiled eggs and then put them in the refrigerator. He's like, oh, that's a good idea. So again, solve one problem at a time. If you want protein, great. But if you're fighting a doctor note, then obviously that's kind of more important. So don't mix the modalities. Or if you're going to mix them smartly. Like he said, I don't have time, but I want protein. But I also don't want sugar, which is a primary thing. Okay, make some hard-boiled eggs the night before. He's like, yeah, that's super easy. Why didn't I think of that? Well, just going back to the idea of the expert panel, right? I've been doing this for a very long time. I get your question, like, I don't know, 100 times in a year. So the answers, well, I don't know, I probably answer it maybe 80 times in the year, at least answer it effectively. So I've answered it. I've seen it. I've dealt with it. Where you doing it once, I've done it, I don't know, in my lifetime, 1,000 times. So I just simply have more experience. And this is where Jennifer would come in, or anybody in that genre. Okay, so then my nemesis would be a plant-based or vegan diet. The pro is it's supposed to be nutrient dense and high in fiber, thus you will poop well, and heart healthy. Man, I don't know. This is where I'm going to go with the line of everybody works differently. I do know there's people in the gym that are plant-based or vegan. Like the Indian community is very plant-based or vegan, and they're doing what we do. If you saw, I don't know, who just came in? Vinay just came back from Minnesota. He's in town, and he crushes the workouts. He's like throwing down better than some of the best here. So is it his youth? Yeah, probably. Is it his experience? Yeah, probably. But he probably doesn't eat much protein. I guess I should ask him before I assume. I know his cousin, Akila, does it, so I would assume that he doesn't. But his definition is good. His movement is good. All that. So does it work? Yes. Again, your body is the ultimate adaptation machine. Is it because of their historical, so longevity of plant-based life, that those genes get passed on? So, like a bad subject, I know, but here, there are a lot more blonde-haired, blue-eyed people in Germany because they killed off a whole lot of people that weren't, right? So not the best example, but if those genes propagate, then those genes propagate, right? So if you are in a culture like India where they're eating more plant-based vegan kind of lifestyle, then those genes, the people who thrive in that will thrive and then procreate. And so you'll have more of those genes. That's just part of the selection process, right? Anyway, can it work? The answer is yes. Would it work for me? Man, I have a heartfelt no going for that one. I literally don't think it would work for me. I ate the same smoothie for years, which included a handful of kale or spinach, and I don't miss it. So I blended it up in the Vitamix. I didn't even know it was in there. And I don't really eat any fiber, and my poop is just normal. So it's a weird thing to know that, well, they say you have to have fiber in order to like clear out your bowels and poop and all that. You don't. I don't know how long it takes to get there. And it is, anyway, that's a whole different subject. We're not in the poop conversation. Just know that you don't have to. So yeah, it can work. And you can actually grow a garden and then grow everything you want to eat. So it could be in the ultimate of cheapness. The other bad side of it on the con is, man, they spray plants with a lot of stuff. So watch out. You may have deficiencies in other places. There's some stuff coming out recently where some long-lived or long-timed vegans are dying, and they're saying they were malnutritioned. Is it true or is it hype? I don't actually know. Guys, yeah, I don't ever play at being a doctor. I am just an unfrozen caveman lawyer. So I am here telling you what I've experienced, not what you should definitely do. You need to pick and decide on yourself. That's probably the biggest thing I would give you in all this on the journey to becoming, having good fitness, food, and finance. It's your choices. You are the master of your destiny. You have the ultimate say in whatever the hell it is you're going to do. Don't be dumb. Choose something smart. There are definite dumb things like, well, I'm going to do the cocaine diet. Yeah, I'm going to tell you that's bad. I wouldn't do that one. Okay, so here we go. My least favorite, well, maybe my least favorite, but down on the list somewhere here is the meal replacement or shakes and bars. There is a system that I can't think of the name of, but it has a big O on the packages, and you can buy packaged food from them. And I cannot think of it, but Verity and Olivia, my wife and daughter, both did it. And it is an extreme calorie reduction. So usually these meal replacements are also, they make it easy and tasty and they reduce your calories, but it's a taking choice away. So there's a system, and the way they make their money usually is, here's our guidance, but buy our food. And so anyway, Olivia was on this and I was like, wow, I can tell that the girls are losing weight. And I never make comments about it, good or bad, because I just keep your mouth shut unless she says something. And if she says, do these pants make me look fat? Your phone just rang and it's an emergency and you have to get it and you have to run away. Anything else, if she says, oh, I've been losing weight, it's like, oh, yes, I can tell, right? Build it up. But other than that, run away and don't ever mention it. Anyway, so the two of them are doing this and I could visually see it working, and I didn't know they were doing it for a while. Like, I think it was like a week or two, but then it was like, wham, it caught up because their body's in starvation mode and they are, their body is burning off all of the fat on them. Yes, it's caloric, deficit. So yes, meal replacement. So it was easy. The choices were easy. And there was a schedule to follow. So it was very rule system, which is, I find funny. People get like burdened by the rules, yet sometimes rules set you free. There's a book that I read called 1 Year of Biblical Living. So it was a Jewish guy who wasn't a practicing religious Jew, but he's like, yeah, let me do this and see how it is. He's like, I followed as much as I could the rules of the Bible, or at least the rules, maybe not of the Bible, but of the Jewish code, whatever. I know they're a little bit different. And he said, well, actually, it was maybe just the Bible. Anyway, whatever. He said it was weirdly freeing in having the rules. I didn't have to worry as much. So I felt more free under rules, which is weird. America is the freest country in the world, yet we have the most rules on the book of anybody. So maybe this thing is good. So shake replacement and meal replacement, people do it and find success. It's convenient, it's controllable, and usually it's easy on a busy schedule. The bad part is it is not sustainable. You cannot eat Jenny Craig or whatever this one was, I can't remember the name of it, forever. It just isn't going to work. Usually there's a lack of satisfaction. You're like, oh, it hits my tongue. It's like, good, I've got enough of the sweetness, which is what people are addicted to. But then you get like dissatisfied with the food and you want something else, right? And man, you think eating carnivore can be expensive? This stuff can get downright expensive. So I've done the math on what I do. I don't snack and I don't have leftovers. So two of the biggest consumers of extra money are gone. I just drink water and coffee. So I am doing like my expenses on when I actually eat the food is a lot. So I usually eat 2 New York strips and they're like, I don't know, like $20 per pound. And there's either a pound or 2 pounds somewhere in there. So it could be a $20 to $40 meal, depending on what the weight was or what the costs were that day. So yeah, it can be expensive, but it's the only thing I eat. And I guess I do cheat a little bit. I have eggs that I grow. I grow my own eggs. No, whatever. I have chickens in the backyard. And if you're actually interested in chickens, we also have a homesteading QR code you can jump on. I forgot about that one. I need to invite people over again and we can do a thing. But if you're interested in chickens, there's a bunch of us that do it. I'm actually hired Jeff Parks's goats to come over and eat some of the poison ivy and whatnot that I've got. So they're going to be here for a while. And the chickens love them. And my dog is like happy with them, but not like what, it's a curious thing. They're bigger animals and they have horns, even the females. And so he's like, I kind of want to come talk to you, but I don't really want to. And so he like barks at them, then chases them, then walks away, then guards them, and then remembers that they're there. And so probably the funniest part is he's like, oh, you dropped something out of your butt. Let me go pick it up. And so he's eating a lot of goat poop, which I don't know. It's a Great Pyrenees. I posted that and a bunch of people who have Great Pyrenees are saying, yeah, my Pyrenees eats a lot of poop as well. I don't know. It's just what he does. So it's kind of gross, but animals do that, whether from a deficiency or I'm your boss. I don't know. I don't know why they do that, but it's funny. Okay. So, the meal replacement, not a favorite thing, but you're going to hire an expert. Usually they give you somebody. So therefore it's the mentor, and it's, convenient on a busy schedule. If that's your problem, then give it a shot. I am not for that one though. Okay, so if you're into CrossFit, then you're going to love this one. This is their primary. It's track your macros, protein, carbs, and fat, your ratio. It's something like, I'm going to get this wrong, I'm sure, but it's like 30, 30, 40 or something like that, 40, 30, 30. It's one of those. But there's a golden ratio, which works for most of the people most of the time, right? It's the most principle. And it's pretty dang flexible. It doesn't really care what you eat as long as the macros are correct. Now, here's the thing. Actually, I should probably look it up so I can give it to you specifically. All right, here you go. I love it. This has got to kill the internet. I just typed in tracking macros ratio, and it gives me an AI answer up front in the Brave server. So it's Brave is Chrome or Microsoft Edge or whatever. It's just another browser. And it's supposed to be more private and secure. I don't know if that's true, but I use it. Anyway, it gives you the AI write-up. I'm not even really going to read the ones below. So they are killing SEO. We live in such a fascinating time. Things have changed so much, so fast. As an example, in 2008, I started using Facebook and YouTube and those things. And if you go back and look on YouTube, mostly right now at Andy McCann 42, if you go there, this is what this video is on, or you can listen to it as a podcast. So either one. If you go back and see my original videos, it's just like me and the kids. I'm just trying this stuff out. I didn't really know what we were doing. And then, maybe that was 2007, but then we started the gym and we started doing videos and putting it on there. And I don't remember, I'm pretty sure I had to use a video camera or some other camera and then like a software to make it work. Your cell phone has more edit ability than I can still even do on my computer for quick and speed and easy. It's just insane. And the videos that I've got, like right now, my channel it's everything. It includes the garage because I forgot that we'd actually created one and I never use it. So anyway, I only use mine and that's how it works. So things have changed so fast. So into this AI generated ratio. So it says it's 30% protein, 30% fat, and 40% carbs. Okay, so that's what I got. Now, there are two ways to do this. One is every meal and snack must be the golden ratio of 30, 30, 40. It must be. So, you just eat it's kind of like eating a hamburger with extra vegetables, but only half the bun. That would be about the right ratio, okay? So others say it just has to balance out in the end. So I think that method is dumb because you're like, well, either it's a method and your body needs it or it's not. And you're like, so basically if I can, at the end, like at night, it's like 12 p.m. Oh no, I'm off a couple carbs. Let me eat some chips real quick. Okay, I'm there. That's just dumb. It doesn't even make any sense. What they're trying to say is your body burns in this ratio, this golden ratio. And, therefore, when you eat and put it in your stomach, you should eat in that ratio, not over time, but when you eat. So every time you eat, it should be in that ratio. Depends on how you're going to do it. It does really work. Actually, when I did this, in CrossFit, they call it the zone method and they use blocks, but it's basically this. It's probably the best I have ever felt in working out. And then I swapped out some of my carbs for extra fats. And it was like I was on fire. I was in fuego. Of course, I was also only like 35. And so doing CrossFit was pretty easy at that age compared to now. I mean, not comparatively. It's pretty easy to do now. I'm smarter for it. But I felt like I could burn more days down than what I really want to do now. So my primary goal now is show up because that works. That's rule number one. And rule number two is don't do anything stupid today to prevent yourself from showing up tomorrow. So I figure the number of days consecutively training are way more valuable than pushing too hard and possibly having to take a couple days off. Anyway, tracking your macros, you have to use one of these things, the MyFitnessPal or the MyNet Diary, because there's really no other way to know exactly what you're eating. I guess you could look at a label, but then again, if you're looking at labels, that's the wrong type of food. That's just entertainment. It's not really food. The con is it is time consuming. You got to log everything and track everything. And if you're like me, it's okay with the compulsive obsessive behavior. But if you hate that sort of stuff, then yeah, this is not going to be for you. Okay. This next one isn't actually a putting stuff in your pie hole idea. I think you could put this as a mixture with anything, but it's the science behind burning more calories or losing more weight, right? So high intensity interval training, HIIT, HIIT. That's kind of what CrossFit is all about, except the real idea of HIIT originally is you go to, I don't know, Lifetime, and then they have a room with a circuit of equipment that is mixed modality. So maybe one of them is just press, and the next one is just legs, and the next one is just, pulling in with your arms or whatever. So push pull. So it mixes each modality as you go around a circuit, and you do each as fast as much as you can for like 30 seconds or 60 seconds or something, or 2 minutes or whatever. And then you move on. And the idea is that because you're moving the groups, you can push each more individually more because it's a different thing. Like I do calf raises that should not affect my ability to do bicep curls, right? So high intensity interval training, it's said to burn a whole lot more calories. Yes, it does, but ... right? So it's not always a 1-to-1 ratio. It also says it boosts your metabolism. Well, yes, but and it's great for busy people. So there's all these things that kind of go into it. Are you doing it right? Is it the same circuit every time? Did you do it in reverse order? Do you skip every other? So how can you make it creative and not get burnt out of it? So the con to these are it can cause injury if you're going with intensity too much. I just said that a moment ago, right? And if you're always doing the same circuit, not mixing it with some extra, I don't know, if you, like I said, skip around or do it reverse or whatever, it just gets kind of burnt out and it's not really fun. So I also wouldn't say this is good for beginners because your intensity level is way too low for your body to actually pull the benefits off. So I'd probably say start working out and then move into that. Now, the way that would differ with CrossFit is about intensity, yes, but there's also a lot of coaching and training that goes on. So I would say CrossFit is good for beginners because it mixes the idea of intensity, but not just using solely that. So it's a full body workout, not isolated body movements. So there's a lot of differences, but it's using, I don't know, the same idea. It's just like you have Aramaic and you have German and you have English, yet we all use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We may call them something different, but we use the same number system to represent our maths. So yeah, that's a good one. You can probably mix that one in there, no problem, with something else you're doing, which is exactly what I do. I do carnivore and CrossFit. Okay, so I'm not completely sold on this one, but there's this one where you do walking mixed with NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Whew, that's hard to get out, so NEAT. So the idea is that you're just moving and it's like the 10,000 steps, but more, right? So it's easy, it's safe. It is underrated. It does burn fat because you're moving a lot, and there's no real diet behind it. You can mix it with anything here. The bad part is it has super slow results. But here's what I'm going to say. You want slow results. Actually, I've got some memes coming up that I had ChatGPT help me with. And one of them is, it's a tree growing, and it says basically measure your success in years, not days. And that's exactly right. If you find a system that can change your results in a day, then it's probably not very good for you. For example, if you're like, Andy, I need to lose 20 pounds. I could chop your leg off. You're going to lose 20 pounds, but man, that is not very useful, right? So you just kind of have to mix these modes up for what makes sense to you, but also like what has the impact and will last. So I suppose it's different if you're like, I got to go to a wedding, which we get that a lot. Ladies come to us and say, I have a wedding in 6 weeks. Help me. I'm like, all right, well, first thing I would do is change the way you eat. So I have a story there. I've told it hundreds of times. Ask me about the lady who wanted to lose weight. And I said, I have a method, but it may kill you. And I'll tell you the story. I'll go back to the other episodes. Okay, another one that's not necessarily food-based, but it's weightlifting or resistance training. But Andy, that's not going to make me lose weight. Yeah, okay, so yes and no. When you start something like CrossFit, you will lose weight, but you're going to gain muscle, and muscle weighs more. So a pound of muscle and a pound of fat look dramatically different. So I typically tell people is, yes, but how do your clothes fit? And they're like, oh yeah, way much better. Like exactly. So the reason is that, well, a reason this goes on is when you lift weights and you're doing, so in this case, it's just strength training, you are building muscle, and muscle is more metabolically expensive. This is why they believe sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss, is a real thing. It's not. It's just that people that are older stop doing stuff and your body adapts to it and says, hey, muscle is expensive. Let's get rid of it. We don't actually need it. You need to force your body into wanting that muscle, thus do the stimulus. So weightlifting, it's going to increase your muscle mass, thus become more metabolically expensive or bump up your metabolism. So what I would do is mix weight, like one of these last three things, with something you ate. CrossFit mixes these together. It does it all. I guess you should have, in addition to cross fitness, you should have cross nutritionist or something where you somehow can mix these modalities. But anyway, so do a couple of these, the movement and the eating, and give it some time. Hit the primary thing first. What did the doctor say, or what is your primary goal? And if you have a hard time figuring that, put it in the ChatGPT and ask it. Give it a lot of stuff. This is about me, what I'm trying to do. Or sit down for coffee for me. Guys, you can hire me out personally at $1,000 an hour, or track your food and your workouts for 2 weeks and then come talk to me. I'll help you for free. The reason is, if you pay me $1,000, you're going to listen, and that's great. If you don't pay me anything, you're not going to listen. If you track your food and your workouts for 2 weeks, you're probably already going to know the answer, so you don't really need me. I'm just going to be there to say, yeah, attaboy, well done. Unfortunately, there isn't a magic bullet. You do need to practice these things. Well, I take that back. There is a magic bullet, sort of. It's guidance and mentorship. You will shoot at the target better with better skill and accuracy if you hire a mentor. So go hire somebody. Hire them for 30 days, hire them for 3 months, whatever. I don't think you need to stay with someone for like years and years and years. You need to understand and gain their knowledge quickly, and that's how you hire someone. Or have a friend that'll tell you, like me, track your food for 2 weeks. Best is Jennifer is going to do a kickoff in January, because everybody likes a January thing. Plus, nobody wants to diet during the holidays. So I don't have the details yet, but Jennifer you usually see her Friday nights when she coaches. You'll see her pop into the gym here and there, but she'll be posting stuff soon. So she'll have a thing in January for us to join in as a group. So it'll be group-based training. That's another fun one. Do it as a group, meet other people on the same journey, and ask them the questions. Okay. So here's a funsy one. This is, at least we've come along. So back in the 19th century, and they've actually, so I think it was in the 70s they did this as well. People would swallow tapeworms, because a tapeworm, they would, back way when, they wouldn't really know what was going on, but we do now. So a tapeworm lives inside of you and is another organism that is going to eat some of your food and need nutrition to live. So they would infect themselves to stay slim, because it would be a tapeworm inside of them, which is super disgusting. But this is the extremes that people would go to make these things work. Should you do that? No, but it's just funny. So at least we're not doing that. Here's the thing, the parting words. If you're in Woodstock, come to CrossFit Garage. We're going to help you. For this is great, because I don't need to be there with you when you eat. If you need help and you're outside in the world somewhere else, just give me a call or an email. I will help set you up with one of our people, or find you somewhere local. Probably the advice I'm going to give you is, hey, go find your local CrossFit gym. I'll help you pick it if you need to or need me to. And you're going to hire whoever is there, because local is always better. It's just nice to have someone to talk to. My other advice is, don't eat a tapeworm. That's just stupid. They would do other things too, but that was just the funniest one that I had found in my little research. All right, guys, you are not alone. We are here for you. If none of that is going to work for you, ask ChatGPT. We also have this thing that Charles and I have been putting together. It's garagefitness.online. He's doing some renovations now where you can use an AI generated workout system. So we're trying to find a super low cost, potentially even free for a very long time, with other add-on services, and using our wisdom of the years, plus taking advantage of technology. It's a weird thing. People, they have a problem but don't want to pay for the solution. I don't know, help you. That's what money does. Money is the ultimate survival tool. It turns into anything. Trade your time for money, and then trade that money for the solution you need. I'm into that. It's in a book that I read. It was a lit RPG book. I forgot the name of it, but this guy Thorne would say, if you have a problem that money can solve, then you don't have a problem, right? And if you have a problem that you're not solving, then you're choosing that problem. So don't choose the problem, choose the solution. A lot of times it can be free, but sometimes paying a little bit of money speeds you along the progress a lot. For like Evan in that Crohn's diagnosis, I hired Josh Detch's group, and it was $500 a month. And to get started, it was like $2,000. But my son's life was on the line. How much would I pay? $2 million. I don't know how I'd get the money, but I would do it, right? If there was a way to keep him alive. So pay for the knowledge of people that have already gone before you, or have, if they don't have the experience ahead of you, they've done it with people enough. Now, I'd also say that it's probably good to have somebody that had the experience. The problem with that is sometimes they have the Messiah complex where it's like my way or the highway. You must believe in my Jesus, and that's the way it works. But you're like, it doesn't work for me. And they're like, well, it's because you did it wrong. No, I just think it's that everybody's body is different. Okay, so we're here for help. We're here to help make you happy. And we're a bunch of humble group. Our gym is full of happy, humble, helpful people who want to be healthy and fit now, as well as in their 90s. We're seeking adventure. We're seeking sport. We're seeking connection. We're seeking health. We're seeking fitness. If that sounds like you, come join us. If you're in Woodstock, great. If you're not in Woodstock, not as great, but we'll try to help as much as possible. All right, guys, y'all take care.